All right. Hey, here we are again, Jon and Will from Men Talking Mindfulness. We just wrapped up our episode on men and therapy. What keeps men from seeking therapy? And we did that with the outstanding and amazing guest, Dr. or Doc Shauna Springer. So many great nuggets of what gets in the way of men in therapy, how to get around those obstacles and actually seek therapy, and then what to do once you're there. Will, what are your thoughts on this show, brother?
I enjoyed how she talks about spoke of like the willingness to get help, and also the willingness to in the room to how we all talk. I talked about it, and you talked about it in the doc. It's like to just be open, to be vulnerable, to just really be willing to put in the work. And therapy is work. It's not like a passive pursuit. It's not also like the therapist they end up working with is going to fix all your problems. Taking your time in between sessions, right, with this awareness that you have because of that prior session, and doing the work and showing up and working on being, there's the horn, right, being your best self, and wanting to dig in and really use the opportunity of therapy and the time and the money in order to get more out of your life and ask those questions or deal with those voices or those difficult situations and relationships that you have. How about yourself, Jon?
Yeah. Oh man, there were so many. I've got some written down here. Let's see. One is, again, as I mentioned in the shorter recap, is the difference between a doc and a doctor, and establishing that trust between the therapist and the patient, and that same level playing field, as you mentioned, kind of walking side by side with your therapist rather than having the therapist talking down to that. That one's a big one. The other one I found really fun was her analogy of Zelda, the Legend of Zelda, and how, as you're digging through this wall with your therapist or with whomever you're talking, potentially your significant other, you're talking about something that's bothering you, and you're digging through this quote unquote wall. And then as you dig through this wall, you come across a monster. Well, your friend, your significant other, your barber, your hairstylist, whoever that is that you're venting to or talking with, and you think it's therapy, when you come across that monster, they aren't equipped to handle that monster. So having a therapist help you with dealing with that monster, I thought that was a great analogy and a fun little nostalgic flashback to the Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Back to you, bro.
This is a topic that's very, very near and dear to me, like yourself. And I've been in therapy for years, and it's really been very helpful. And I hope this episode not just helps men, but anybody that is struggling and, wants that or is seeking a place to heal. And sometimes just talking about your feelings, talking about what's going on in your life could start that healing process and could start moving some of that energy and those emotions out, give them a safe place to kind of, you can objectively look at, and then begin to recalibrate, and then maybe step your foot onto a new path. So,
right.
Thanks.
Right on. Well, if you get a chance to check it out on YouTube, or check it out in our podcast form. That'll be coming out actually very soon. We're going to publish this in video today and publish it in podcast tomorrow. So boom, quick turnaround on this one. All right, brother. Good to see you. Take care.
Thanks, Jon. Peace.